Well, welcome to Community Church of Chesterland. Wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome and wanted here.
Today's moment of focus is call and response. Please speak the bolded words. Come, beloveds of every gender, orientation, and path, we gather as a community rooted in justice, compassion, and love. Here we are not confined by roles or stereotypes. We are whole people, strong and tender, bold and open-hearted. We celebrate the fullness of each life, parents of all kinds, chosen families, LGBTQ plus love, and every form of care and connection. Each story adds to the beauty and depth of our shared humanity. We bring honest questions about partnership, equity, expression, and expectation. We come not for answers alone, but for understanding, for reflection, and for transformation. Today, we also celebrate the commitments we uplift with our scholarship awards, gifts of support, recognition, and shared possibility. We honor all who are learning, growing, and making change at every age and stage. Let this hour be one of connection and renewal, where all identities are affirmed and all journeys belong. We gather together with purpose and pride.
I'm happy to be reporting about something that is good for the community and the environment. I want to tell you about a food delivery service that is very helpful to local farmers and to the environment in many ways. This is an online farmers market, which it's more than a farmers market, but that's what it's called. It was started as a way to restore a connection between consumers and local farmers and artisans. The mission being to enable food producers and artisans to thrive in their local market. It was started in 2016. The name of this market is Market Wagon, which is an unusual name, I thought, but I guess it's one that people might remember. The products are on the computer. There's a picture. description, cost, and the county that it's produced in, and the name of the vendor. The products vary as the seasons change. If some product is not from what would be considered a local product, they indicate that it is outsourced. So local, in their minds, is Indiana rather than California. Keep in mind, I'm not sure exactly. I think they have different hubs in different areas. Okay, the fact you know a product comes from is so neat, as in many cases you can travel and visit the location. One of my favorite things is to know where my food is coming from. The way this works is you go through the many myriad of products from meat, produce, dairy, non-food, dessert, and ready to eat, and decide the products you want for the week. And send that in by Tuesday night, and the products are delivered on Thursday. The vendors take their products to the hub for their particular area and pack this beautiful black bag. Okay, pack it with the items you've chosen. The bag has an ice pack, a paper bag in it to keep the bag clean so it can be used multiple times. The bag, after it's empty, is ready to be set out to be returned and used another time. No plastic bags, and you just send it all back. You just put it out, ready to go. I feel very good when my bag arrives, as I know I am helping the local farmer and artisans and environment as well. And the best part is I'm getting delicious, fresh food that has not traveled miles to reach me. We're fortunate in Geauga County to have many places we can get local food. We have GAR Horizons in Hamden, for one. They feature their own beef, chicken, pork, and also have many other vendors with bakery and many other items. There's also another place I'm aware of in Geauga, and Kathy Flora said it's New Creations, and they also do. I did find New Creation Farm. Both these places started because they were very concerned where their food came from. A few years ago, Heinen's advertised that the butchers in their store knew where their beef they were selling came from. The butcher said, "We're saying this, how do we know that for sure?" So they sent the butchers out to the ranches to see where the cattle were raised. And I assume they still do that. I did not check. Okay. Now, and I wanted to say, we realize how privileged we are to be where we live and to have what we have available. Yesterday, I just had food from Ioneros, which is a little store in Munson, and there's their bread. It's homemade bread. It's not got the preservatives in it. And this is something that's so good for us, we can do, and it's a positive thing for the environment and the community. So that's my message today.
Happy Scholarship Sunday. Whew. Yes. The applause has not ended yet. All right. We are taking time today to acknowledge and celebrate scholars in our community. Each of the 9 recipients has made the choice to enroll in a program that will help them develop skills or wisdom and help them grow as human beings. The Community Church of Chesterland supports these scholars in their journey of self-actualization, of growing and changing into the person each of them hoped they would become. These scholars are walking paths aided by education and training that they chose to do. Proverbs chapter 3 says, "How blessed is the person who finds wisdom and the person who gains understanding. For wisdom's profit is better than the profit of silver, and wisdom's gain better than fine gold." To the scholars here, we wish you the best. And for the scholars that each of us have been in the past, in the present, or the future, may each of you continue to find wisdom and understanding that enriches your lives. And with that, let's show our well-wishing. I will read the names of the scholars Some of them are not here today. They had other things going on, or at least one of them was out of the state. But those who are, you can stand or come up to the front when I say your name. And then once I have read all the names, we can applaud and joyously bless everyone. Our scholars in 2025 are Elliot Ashwood, Catherine Becker, Miles Eaton, Clay Garrett, Denise Garrett, who's often on Zoom but is not here today, Rebecca Kimball, Lisa Price, Jimmy Civillo, and Daniel White. Congratulations.
My name's Connie. I'm the vice moderator, and today Diane Stocker and I have put together the service for you, and we took our time. We were excited about sharing some things that we thought we could generate some discussion around. So we're going to have discussion, and we're excited that each of you are here. Please join me in a spirit of prayer. Spirit of love and liberation, thank you for creating us in all our diversity, for the courage to question, the grace to grow, and the freedom to be fully ourselves. Bless this community who lead, those who learn, those who break molds, and those still becoming. May we live and love with boldness and build a world where every life is honored. Amen.
I'm going to start with the ancient reading by the Ishla Upanishad. He who constantly sees all things in self, parentheses God, and the self, parentheses God, in all beings, does not hate. And the modern reading is from an excerpt from the 2014 UN speech on gender equality by Emma Watson. Men, I would like to take this opportunity to extend your formal invitation. Gender equality is your issue too, because to date, I've seen my father's role as a parent being valued less by society, despite my need of his presence as a child, as much as my mother's. I've seen young men suffering from mental illness, unable to ask for help for fear it would make them less of a man. In fact, in the UK, suicide is the biggest killer of men between 20 to 49, eclipsing road accidents, cancer, and coronary heart disease. I've seen men made fragile and insecure by a distorted sense of what constitutes male success. Men don't have the benefits of equality either. We often don't talk about men being imprisoned by gender stereotypes, but I can see that they are, and that when they are free, things will change for women as a natural consequence. If men don't have to be aggressive in order to be accepted, women won't feel compelled to feel submissive. Both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. It is time that we all perceive gender on the spectrum instead of two sets of opposing ideals. If we stop defining each other by what we are not and start defining ourselves by who we are, we can all be freer, and this is what he for she is about. It's about freedom. Connie and I thought that Emma Watson's UN talk in the modern reading was so inspiring that we have some questions for you based on her speech. If the questions speak to you, or if you have any comments, Meg will bring the microphone to you.
How have you been expected to act in certain ways because of your perceived gender?
Yesterday at the car show, I was detailing my car, on the field. And so, and I had a friend who was sitting near the car. And so somebody else came over and spoke to the man and said, boy, you have the best, best situation. Your wife is cleaning your car. And so I didn't say a word, but he did. My friend did.
Oh, good.
So.
This is another situational thing that came up this week. I had to go up to the Verizon store because I was having difficulty, transferring my new phone from my old for my new. And when my name came up, the only woman who worked there came up to me. She was very sweet, very helpful. And I said to her before, my husband tried to help me transfer this, but that went nowhere. And she goes, "Aw, men." And then she proceeded to tell me that she's had several times that men have come into the store and said to her when she went to help them, and she said, "I've been here for several years. Can you get a man to help me?" And I said, "They really said that to you?" She said, "Yeah, and I specifically gave them the kid that's been here 2 weeks."
Good one.
This takes me back to my early days in nursing, how we were supposed to be so submissive to the male doctors. And things have changed over the years, and the new crop of people aren't quite so willing to do that. It's caused a lot of problems, but especially like working in surgery and things like that, that there's a terrible, and it still exists, a male-dominated kind of role with submissive female nurses, and it's got to stop.
I have a real funny. I was practiced nursing for 20 years, and I took the knowledge of my nursing career into construction, would you believe? And one day, I'd occasionally go out on the jobs, and my men were wonderful. They respected me and everything else. And I happened to walk on a job, and one of my guys was talking to a subcontractor, and the subcontractor was trying to put me down. And this guy that was he didn't know I was there, said, "You know, buddy, she knows more in her little finger than you know in your whole body." Since we're doing this.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
I tend to go sort of abstract. A lot of the anecdotes I'm hearing, I read a second wave feminist essay called "Why Are There No Great Women Artists?" that had a clarifying section that explained, at least in the 70s, the author perceived that masculinity is being focused on one thing, pursuing excellence in one field, whereas femininity is being well-rounded, but never so focused on something that you can't set it down to go take care of someone else, a kid, a spouse, a family member. And I think, I just heard someone go, "Oh, that's true." And I think that's part of why there is an assumption that women haven't excelled in anything because then they wouldn't be women, or that men have to keep striving for excellence so that when they do stumble, it creates a downward spiral. I remember when I was looking for work and I felt awful. I'm not even a man, but like the idea that you have to keep working hard at something is really stressful when you can't find work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a man, particularly one that's tall, the expectation started early on with, "You got to be a rough man on the basketball court, don't you?" No. "You've got to be focused on this." And as Claire was just saying, no, I'm very well rounded. I tend to be into everything from cross stitch to carpentry. The expectations are debilitating. I know that during the 60s and 70s, back in the dark ages, people would say, "Oh, we got to have women's rights, women's rights." And I said, dudes, I was saying then the same thing she said. Women's liberation is men's liberation. You got to get your shit together and get behind it.
I like it.
Yeah.
One more.
So our daughter was with us this week, and like most people, everybody works from home. So she had to do a self-evaluation because she meets with the upper echelon of the company she works for, and so she had to do this rating thing, right, John? So she come out, she's like, well, I said, well, is it a Likert scale, which is a scale of 1 to 5, and 5 being great, and 1 is, pack your bags and go home. And she said, and it's about my leadership. Am I what's she call it, excellent or outstanding or something? I don't remember. The primo leader. And she said, that's a 5. And then the 4 is, kind of that I'm almost there and it's a work in progress, or I am there, but it's still a work in progress, because it always is a work in progress as leadership, right? So we're standing there talking about this, and she said, I can't, her friend who happens as identified male says, oh, Alex, you've got to ask for more money. You've got to do a 5. If you don't do a 5, they're not going to offer you more money. And she's, to hear her have to sort this out, and she is a 43-year-old woman. I mean, today you still have to sort this out. I deserve to be paid what I'm worth. But yet, how do I balance what's, the relational parts of all of that? How do you balance that? And I don't know what she finally decided, whether she went for a 4 or a 5. But we concluded it's that narrow view again. We still have that narrow view of, even in self-evaluation. Yeah, I really am a 5, and I should get paid for what I'm worth, but yet.
So that's good. At the question 2, what emotions have you felt pressured to hide? Anger, tenderness, aggression, whatever. And what does emotional honesty look like? And I think that's, for myself, that's something I'm always trying to figure out for the situation. What is honestly happening, and being true to yourself in the moment. What does anybody else?
I think, okay, I do believe this is relevant. Being a boss in a job, but having men alongside you, then you're looked at, you're not as paying attention. It's just the fact that they pay attention to the man more than they do the woman. I mean, it's just the fact. But the fact is, how do you react to that as a woman? Do you get mad and push around, or do you just stay back and try to and do what is your job, but you still don't, you're frustrated. It's a very frustrating situation. Fine line.
So my former husband would do you're too sensitive. Like anytime I'm any kind of emotional, I start to cry. And so forever I would try to stifle that. So if somebody cries now and they're like, I'm sorry, I'm always like, let it out. Like, we're okay with laughing, but not crying. Like, I really think we need to encourage people to express however, like male, female, however anybody identifies anything. I think we all need to be able to have that honesty with how we're feeling and be able to express it without embarrassment or shame.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Amen.
And I don't know if this is like a regional thing of being like a Midwestern woman, but I've always felt like if somebody asks you how you're doing, you say good. And one of the things that I appreciate of this community is I've been able to be honest and say, no, I'm not good. And I've started saying, like, I'm okay. Because I'm okay. But, there's other emotions that go along with it. And, I just think, like, I've always felt very pressured. Teresa's the happy one. Well, sometimes I'm not happy.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm not happy. And it's okay, and it's not in a bad way. So I will say, like, I'm very appreciative of this community because you all have helped me to not be good in a good way.
Well said. That was great.
And to build on that, too, I think that's really important because we do reflexively often just say, I'm okay. And I've really stopped and ask somebody a second time, because I know we're not okay. Also, too, I'm in a profession that I see a lot of emotions all the time, being a cancer nurse. So I have people that are super pissed off. I have people that are sobbing. And I'm always very, very careful not to judge the reaction, because even though somebody is angry and throwing something at me, there's something much deeper going on than just that. So I think we have to be very careful in not judging somebody's emotions off the bat. I think we just have to take some time to dig just a little bit deeper.
So what I wanted to say about this was, I think for folks who are neurodivergent, it can add an intersection layer of expressing emotion, because for me, I feel emotions. Like when people, the way I describe it is when people see a dog and you're all like really happy to see the dog and you want to pet it and it makes you happy. When I see a dog, it makes me really happy. Like it's a physical, full body reaction of an emotional feeling. So I feel feelings like really hard.
Tactically.
And so like Lisa, everything makes me cry. I'm happy. If I laugh too hard, if I'm angry, if I'm stressed out, if you looked at me wrong, I'm probably going to cry. But I think that in addition to understanding how different people emote, and to the question of being okay to be honest when you're asked how you are, we as people who are asking the question have to be willing to hear the answer.
You have to be open. Yeah.
And so, like, are you honest when you're asking someone how they are? Are you like, do you really care about what they're saying? Because I think that is like one thing of why we don't allow emotional honesty, is because we're not even starting the conversation honestly. You don't really care how they are. You want to start the meeting and move on, right? And it's just hi for a lot of people, but I think for many of us that's not true. Like when I ask how you are, I want to know, and I want to know how we can contribute. So I think that it's a both ways kind of thing.
I don't know how many of you are empaths, but it's been a real challenge in my marriage, because I would say to my husband, "Oh my gosh, I'm so overstimulated and anxious right now," and he said, "I don't even know what that is." And my first reaction is to get mad, but I've learned to kind of I have to explain how I'm feeling. And I don't know if any of you have experienced this with your husbands, but well, don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Well,
Just, yeah.
if you don't, so anyway, it's really, really been a challenge. And it's been a learning process for me to accept that I have a much more sensitive range of emotions than he does.
I'm so excited I'm going to stand up. Okay. Two things. First of all, years ago when I was working as an intervention specialist, I thought about this topic a lot. And so I thought, you know what? Men are switches. They're on, off, and women are dials. And if men understand women, and you need to go all the way around, and men are do. Now, I'm not saying it can't be the other way, but generally speaking, men are switches, women are dials. Now, the other thing, I have a class that I'm so excited. I took an art class. I got it online. It's Zoom, and it was Art to Life. And Nicholas Wilton is this incredible artist who teaches you, kind of guides you so that you do everything from the heart, like painting. I painted for a week, and he said, you will have a profound change. And you should see my things from the beginning, what I did. I'm just a lot of thinking. So if you have a chance on Instagram, it's art and then numeral 2, life. And he has short classes and he has longer classes. And now I am doing art with people all around the world. It's called Studio. And at any time, if I want to wake up at 3 in the morning and, you know, be with somebody in France, I can do that. So it's incredible. Nicholas Wilton. And I encourage all of you, because he said you do things from the heart, and everybody should be doing something with creativity every day. It's a health issue. And so anyway, I'm just so zapped about this whole thing. So thank you for listening.
Wonderful.
I was just gonna say, maybe eventually we can have like a group session with him or something like that.
I would just caution, men are not on off. Men have a full range too. We're forced to be on off. We're expected to be on off. But if people would say, on a scale of 1 to 1,000, where are you? And let them be 4,800, or 480, that's fine. We don't have to be. Tell me yes or no.
So, growing up, it was always just like being raised as an autistic kid with parents that didn't want an autistic kid or acted like they didn't want one was very difficult. And they told me what my emotions needed to be at all times. No shit, I have a personality disorder. That's along with other factors, but still. So it's hard learning how to have your own emotional regulation when you're an adult, and it actually affects real people.
It does.
And that can happen as both any way you identify. Whether you're assigned male or female at birth, you can have a personality disorder. And the intensity that can be at is really scary. And once you start learning how to have your own emotions and learning that you can control your own emotions and somebody else isn't going to make you feel a certain way, it can be difficult. And I feel both sympathy and empathy for toxic masculine culture, because they're told how they need to act and how they need to treat women. In a way, we're shaped, all of us are shaped by toxic gender culture. That's my 2 cents on that.
Thank you. As you leave this space, may you see each person not as other, but as kin, not as stranger, but sacred. May you recognize the self, the divine, the light in your neighbor, in your loved ones, in yourself. When we see the sacred in all beings, hatred loses power. Prejudice cannot stand where compassion has taken root. So go now with eyes open to wonder, with hearts tuned to equity, and with the courage to live out loud. Go in peace, go in pride, and go in power. Amen.